Hi everybody, Chris here from Truly Holistic. In this video we're going to talk about a couple of products. One of them that's been out probably for a few weeks now, but one new addition that is associated with that product. And we're talking about the light halo, but we've also got the light tiara now. Okay, so slightly a different formation of that same product. And so this is the tiara here. Okay, so you've still got the copper panels where you can put the light stones on. Okay, but it's not a closed loop. Like for example, this is my one here. This is the halo, which is a full complete closed loop, and then we've got one that's not a full loop there. Okay, and obviously with this one we have the panels. One at the front, one at the back, and then one on that side, one on that side, and then the tiara have them all four at the front. Okay, so with this product, the crystals are attached, velcroed on. Why we did this is because they are a product in themselves. We call them the light stones. So when you get them, you'll get them in a lovely little bag like this with the crystals. Okay, and they're called the light stones, and they're an amazing product in themselves. Okay, and then obviously you would either get the halo or you get the tiara. Okay, every aspect of this product is bringing forth energetics, but now I'm going to discuss the purpose of why we brought the light stones and a product like the tiara or the halo together. Okay, the main reason I originally brought forth the halo was a tool that can assist with meditation. And with the clients that I'm working with every day, we are always bringing forth wisdom that is all about trying to create a state which we call a being state. And funnily enough, we're human beings, right? But majority of people out there don't know how to be. I always say in a cosmic joke that we're called human beings, but no, not many humans know how to be. They are more human doings, okay? If we're a human being controlled, guided by the mind, we are doing, we're not being. Okay, and this has a detrimental effect to your health. Okay, as humans, we're very conditioned to think that we've got to do. Okay, out of that state of do, we get overwhelmed very easily. We get stressed very easily. We know that stress is connected to all illness, all problems out there. Okay, and that's through complexity. It's not living simply. Okay, which has got the mind all on it. That's nothing to do with consciousness. When we talk about meditation, we talk about consciousness. And I don't like using the word, but a word you'll often hear it is mindfulness. It's nothing to do with the mind. When we're meditating, we're actually silencing the mind, which is really realizing the mind is the problem. Okay? So I don't understand why they call it mindfulness. It really should be called mindlessness, really. So I really encourage my clients, right, is that, okay, we're going to do the clearing work, but what maintains that healing work is you providing a state that the body will follow that enables flow. You would have heard of the expression, you need to be in the flow. You need to be in the flow. Okay? Why is this so important? Because every component of your body, whether it's components that make up the cardiovascular system, the respiratory system, the digestive system, the urinary system, the nervous system, all rely on flow to remain vitality and well. And when we get obstruction and blockage to that flow, or sluggishness to that flow, which especially with the blood, with viscosity, we get in trouble. Now, is there any connection with the way that we live our life by being in the flow, and then all those aspects of our body, therefore, flowing? Yes, completely. because the body follows the state that you provided. Your body is only as good as the state you provided. Okay, so when we're in a doing state, we're enabling congestion and not flow. Okay, and a lot of people will then get run down, right? And they'll get a cold or a virus or something, and then they've got to lie down and they're not feeling too good, and they'll say, oh, I'm sick. No. When you've got a runny nose, you've got congestion, you've got a headache, and you're lethargic and got to lie down, you're in a healing phase. You're not in a sickness phase. The sickness was the doing, the being overwhelmed before that. That's the sickness. Okay. So we want to make a product to create this being state. Okay. Being in the flow. And being in the flow is living your life being very aware, which is another word for consciousness, awareness, and being in the moment, being in the present moment. Because these opportunities coming to you and being connected to you in every moment of your existence. But the only way you'll know they're there is being aware of it. Again, bringing the word awareness and consciousness into it. Well, if you're being control of the mind, you will not see that opportunity, because the mind is always trying to remove you from the now. It's trying to get you in the past. It's trying to get you to forward in the future, to look around the corner to know what's next. The brain is a machine that does that. The brain is an extension of the mind. Okay. And a lot of the problems like Alzheimer's, cognitive decline, dementia, what's that all about? That's about living an existence year after year, decade after decade, in a doing state with the brain and the mind, the brain being overworked, the mind controlling your experience of limitation. And you just download all this programming, all this conditioning until there is not 1 ounce of authenticity left. And that's why in these conditions, a lot of family members will go, they don't show any resemblance to who they used to be. Yes, that's right, because they're not that anymore. The mind is a doorway to facilitate intelligence that's not innately that person or you. Okay? So I want to make a product to help with that, because people, again, humans generally are conditioned to think, oh, it's these thoughts in my head. They're not actually in your head. That's just how we perceive it. Okay? So it's all about this head. So when we created this halo, I thought, well, it sits on top of the head, right? So it's creating a column that is working in this area. And the key aspect of getting you into a being state is to get your awareness out of here and shift it back into the heart. Because the heart is your gateway, doorway, wormhole, portal, stargate to a quantum path that connects to you as infinite consciousness, which means an energy that has no boundaries, no limitations to it. Okay? It's essential. Because if you're not in that, the human has to be guided or controlled in some manner. It needs an intelligence. And if it's not there, and therefore you're not connected to your higher aspect of your own consciousness, so it won't do you wrong, because if it did, it'd be doing itself wrong. You're going to let the mind open up to intelligence that don't care about you, because they're not you. Okay? They're just going to use you. Use your creative power to create a reality that is in their own image while you suffer. Doesn't sound good to me. Okay, so we create this halo. So what you do is you get that, right? And you get the stones out, and we'll talk about the stones in a minute. And then obviously you just place them on. Like so. And as I say, we've created the Velcro because you can use the stones just by themselves as well in other ways. Okay, so it gives you the ability to do that. So you got all those on, and you just place it on your head. Okay. Now another thing here at Truly Holistic, we're really emphasizing this aspect that majority of humans see meditation as like another treatment method, right? I'll just meditate for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, half an hour, and that'll set me up for the rest of the day. But really what we're trying to practice is getting you into that feeling your way instead of thinking your way. Because thinking is an extension of the mind. Feel is an extension of your consciousness. That's why the body speaks as symptoms, which are sensations, which is feel, right? Because the body is your greatest ally. It's an extension of your consciousness. It's just our misinterpretation of the body and what it's trying to say that becomes the problem. That's where the mind comes in. Okay, so we want to really emphasize this aspect of getting out of treatment, thinking of things as treatments, like it's a cure, like we swallow a drop a pill, or we do this for 10 minutes, we do this for 15 minutes. No, we're trying to enable a meditative state in every moment of your existence, from moment to moment. And do you know what that's called? Being in the flow. Okay, so we don't see it as a treatment option, we see it as a way of living, which is that's the natural way of things. Okay, the thing that you have to drop your meditation for 10 minutes and go back out there, that's the sickness. That is already the sickness. That's not the right way to do it. You need to start seeing it that way, right? Understand we're busy. We've got to make money. We've got to have a roof over the top of your head. We've got to work. I understand that. But you just need to start putting the intentions to know that that is part of the sickness, and things need to change. And once you put your attention and intention into those things and to that change your perspective, nothing will ever change otherwise. Okay? So, same thing with the tiara. Okay, got Velcro on these bits as well. And again, you just place the stones on it. Okay, and then you can just shape it to the size of your head. Okay? So, now why did we put those two together, the stones, and then either the tiara or the halo? Now, you can see that this is tensor as well. So these are cut to measurements, right? So they're bringing through just energetics on their own accord as well. But that's not the key aspect of it. So when we put the halo on it, it's creating a surface area, right? This area inside the loop or inside the ring. Now, these copper plates are there, so therefore when we put this crystal on it, so because these crystals are anchoring in energetics, and we'll talk about that in a minute, that those energetics that's in the crystal powder is then infused into the copper and become part of the circuit, so therefore it's anchoring the energetics in that column. Okay? And every other energetic that you're placing on it. There was a product, and I'll just grab it now, that it's a coil that this is how I got started. Was with color therapy. Okay, and the way that we do it with color therapy is we have this coil, okay, and again it's a closed loop, as you can see there, right? So this end of the coil loops back up to this copper plate, and then the other end is also connected to the copper plate. And what we'd do is we'd find out, what color would be ideal, because remember, color in the spectrum of color is also part of that spectrum of frequencies. Okay, and it's a carrier of that. Let's say it identified this color here, the orange, right? And what the frequencies that being expressed as this color orange for the client. And what we'd do is then we'd put that on the plate, and we'd put the person's name on the plate, so it would work as a distance healing tool or their photo. Okay, so you can see how that becomes part of this loop, part of this circuit when we add this frequency. It's very much the same method of how we're doing it with this. When we put the light stone onto the copper plate, it then becomes part of this field. That's anchoring not only the cubic measure of the ring itself, but all these other energetics that come in. And again, as I say, that's why we use it with Velcro, because if you've got it doesn't matter what tensor ring that is. It could be some of the old cubic measures, like the sacred, the royal, the lost. And you want to upgrade the energetics coming through that ring, well, you just get the light stones and you throw the light stones within the ring, and then that column will then also bring through those energetics as well into that surface area of that ring or that column. Same thing with the crystalline sun ring tool. We know that's a broadcaster energy, right? And that broadcasts energy out. If you put the light stones into the sun ring, then it's going to broadcast those energetics into the room as well. So there's a number of ways you can use the light stones themselves, okay? And hence or you can just put them in its little bag that it comes with, and you can place it in your pocket and carry it because it's part of your auric field and it's working on you. Okay, so there's many ways you can use those just on their own, okay? So now let's look at, now with the tiara, because it's not a closed loop, it's still a straight line, even though it's been curved. Tensor or cubit measure that's bring through energetics. It's not necessarily a big surface area like that. It's more an energetic it just surrounds that tensor ring. Now, because it's going to be going in that area anyway, it's then going to affect and just come through that area. So it works very similar to the closed loop. Okay. Obviously, one benefit to this is you can move it, right? So you can adjust it to somebody's head size, and you just might like the look of it better this way than that way. Obviously, with a closed loop, we ask the person that's buying the product, what's the circumference of the head, because we try and find a cubit measure that will work perfect for their size of head. Okay. Now the light stones. Each light stone brings through different energetics. And these are levels of you as an infinite consciousness. Okay? All the products we bring through in Truly Holistic, with the cubit measures, the energetics that we bring through, it's not about bringing energies that are external to you. Because you don't lack. You've never lacked. You're infinite consciousness. And that means energy that has no boundary or limitation to it. So you don't need anything energetically external to yourself coming in. You just need to be able to reconnect to that energy that's always been there, because it is you. Okay? And why that's really good, and this is the main way I try and promote and teach people when they're dowsing, is to connect to their high aspects of their consciousness as an infinite consciousness, because you can't go wrong. Because it's not something external to you. It's not something that's it's got a hidden agenda against you. No, it is you. So it never do you wrong. Okay, and that's the benefit of doing this, right? It's a very empowering process where you learn more about yourself, and also you bring through not only energy, you bring through the wisdom that's attached to it, to then understand and have a greater knowing of what you're observing, what it represents. Okay, which is an ever-evolving perspective, and I tell you, it makes life exciting. So the light stones are made up of, we use crystal powders, because they are essentially crystal powders and resin. The purpose for the crystal powder is like a tensor ring. It's an anchor, a physical anchor, to bring through those etheric energies through. Okay? And these etheric energies is at a quantum level, okay, that exists outside of this reality. So we use the green, the malachite crystal powder. We use blues, lapis lazuli. We use amethyst crystal powder, which is a kind of light color, a light purple. And we also use the shungite. Okay. Now each one of those brings through a level of your existence, a level of you as infinite consciousness, as you as a multi-dimensional being. Okay, so in the green one, we anchor in activation, or the heart activation qubit. The role of that is essentially to get you to the door. Okay, the door of every aspect of you as an infinite consciousness is through this gateway we call the heart. The heart is a vortex, it's not a pump. Okay. What you observe as blood in this keyhole of reality that we see with our visible sight, which is less than 1% of what can be seen, is actually the flow of your energy that is connected on a multidimensional level coming through the heart. We call that blood. Okay. Now, We call this also the earth element, okay? Because you are connecting, this is earth here, and earth's an expression of you. Earth and heart have the same letters in the word. H is at the start of the word heart because it begins with a heart. And the H is at the end of the word earth because then it ends with the earth because the earth becomes an expression of us. You must understand that there's not one reality for everybody just to observe and participate on. You're creating your own reality. And you must understand that every aspect of your reality that you observe is only coming through one pair of eyes, and that's your own. Okay? So, this is connecting you to the closest aspect of you as infinite consciousness, and we call that the soul. We also call that your energy signature, which is very unique. And this reality is not two souls alike. Okay? You're unique, which is the opposite to how it conditions the human, right? It was when we're born. Oh, another human. You're one of 7 or 8 billion. That's immediately makes you feel insignificant, makes you feel that you lack. And it locks you into this limited existence, you being fronted up and represented as an incomplete version of self. Okay. Now it leads your life astray from that point onwards because you feel like you lack and you never did. That's what I'm here to tell you. Okay. So that's the first part of your level, connection to your soul. Okay. The next one, air, is this one here, which is bring through the gateway qubit energetics. Okay. So this is what connects you to all the different other realities, where your signature energy, your soul, is also being shared to these other realities. As I said, in this reality, there are no two souls alike. But where your energy signature is being shared is in a number of different realities. That's why we are called multidimensional. And each reality, or each variant of you that lives in other realities, it has the same principle as you. The closest aspect of its consciousness is its soul, which is the same energetic signature as your soul here. Okay. Why we say the element air? Because when you're in it, again, in a meditative practice, what do they tell you to do? Focus on the breath. It's not really about breathing. It's not really about lungs. It's about bringing your awareness back here and blocking out the distraction out there. Bring your awareness back in, back this way, where your authenticity lies. This way, not out there, this way. Okay? So that brings through, as with the earth one, it brings through a spectrum of frequencies. A bit like, when you take a multivitamin, right? It's trying to hit, every mineral, every vitamin as much as possible of a spectrum of minerals and vitamins. Minerals and vitamins and everything else. At its core, what is it? Frequency. Why is magnesium different to calcium? Because it's an expression of a bunch of frequencies that calcium doesn't have compared to magnesium. That's it. Okay? But we're not just touching on a few of them here. We're bringing through the whole spectrum. Okay? So you've got a full spectrum of frequencies, of energies that are the highest potential of this reality that you're in. But you've also got the wisdom of your soul, who is like a smart device, and it'll pick and choose the frequencies you need at each moment, depending on what you need at that time. It's got your back. It always has. Okay? When we connect into your multidimensional aspect, then we're connecting into multiple spectrums of frequencies, because they all contain magnesium, calcium, all the things that we have here, but they're all a little bit different because each universe or each reality has universal laws that are slightly different. So when you have this, you're bringing through not only, and when you apply this to food, water, all these other things, you're bringing through the consciousness of water that doesn't exist to one reality, but a number of them. Or within food, let's say cacao, and it's high in magnesium. It's not just bringing through the highest potential magnesium in this reality, into a number of realities. So you can see the scope of this. The next one is with the lapis lazuli, water. Okay, now this is ascension qubit, which is bringing through the energy of your source. Okay, so far, these are the levels you have infinite consciousness, right? Soul, earth element, air element, your soul family, and then your source self. There's not one source for everybody. I must put that out there. You have a source self, a source of your individual energy. Okay? So this source energy is your energetic before you got branched into all these different realities, which then brings this one in. Okay? So this is the element water. So far, 3 levels of you as infinite consciousness, which bring through all of those frequencies. Every single frequency of you, doesn't matter where you are, on a completely humongous level. And then the last one, where we use the shungite crystal powder, it is bring through fire infinity qubit, which is celestial existence, which is, if your source energy was the roots of a tree, this is the soil that those roots sit within. Okay? And this is the element fire. Okay? Because what we find with this energetic, it's about burning the attachments, the cords, the things that are holding you back and not enabling you to be in the flow and flow. Okay? What I found with this energetic, especially with the I am everything program, is it put me in a fever. And I learned a lot about that because I didn't have any symptoms of an infection or anything like that, but I was burning up. And I realized it was this energetic. When I took that energetic away, within an hour or two, I was back to normal. No more fever. And what I learned about that was that the fever is a reset. It's a reconfiguration. It's a healing crisis because it's a state of healing. It's not a state of sickness. Remember, when you have a cold or lethargic and you run down, you got the running nose and the head cold and all that sort, that's not a state of sickness. That's a state of healing. Okay? It was you being run down and doing and not doing it, not practicing this state of being enough. That was the sickness originally. Okay? So that's fire. So you can see how we've got the 4 elements. And these are essentially 4 levels of you, of infinite consciousness. It's the soul family, okay, which is where your energy signature goes to all these multidimensional aspects of yourself, source self, and then you as a celestial. And you will not get those levels found anywhere else with any particular qubit measure or energy tool elsewhere that I know of. This is the expansion, the expansiveness of this product. So you can see that we bring those light stones then to use and then we use this as a conduit, a medium, right? Either the halo or the tiara, to then create an effect. When you place it on here, it will help with alleviating congestion in the nasal cavity or the sinus cavities, or if you've got a headache or migraines or any issue in here. But at its core, it's all about trying to provide a state of being, okay, which is getting your awareness out of there and getting it back down to here. And when you practice a state of being, which is going to be more in the flow, all the physiological process of the body will also be that too, will be in flow, which enables your body to run in a state of vitality and wellness, not congestion, not disease, not illness. Okay? So it's a very powerful product. Now, if you're interested in buying either the Halo or the Tiara, go to my website, trulyholistic.net/products/ and you'll find them there. Okay? Also, if you want to buy, as I say, you get the light stones with either the Tiara or the Halo. That's part of the deal. If you'd like to buy just the light stones by themselves, you'll also see them at that same address I gave you, trulyholistic.net/products/. If you're interested in booking an appointment for either Ascendance Healing or reality coaching, go to trulyholistic.net/appointments/. If you are new to the channel, please subscribe to the channel for further content like this. If you've loved this video, give me a like. Share the video. This helps with algorithms so we can spread this message to more people. Until next time, catch you later.